The SAVE Act, H.R. 22, just passed the House. Should we be worried about the disenfranchisement of tens of millions of voters in this country? Let's get into it. The SAVE Act, introduced by Chip Roy of Texas, intends to make it illegal if you are not a citizen and you attempt to register to vote in federal elections. Never mind that pesky little fact that it is already illegal to do so. So, how will the SAVE Act attempt to secure our elections because they're so vulnerable right now? Well, a couple different ways. First and foremost, you must provide proof of citizenship in person when you go to register to vote or when you have to update your voter registration. No more doing that online, no more doing that at the DMV, no more doing it when you file your taxes, depending on what state you live in. All new or updating of voter registration must be done in person with proof of citizenship. Now, the bill right now is contradictory in the sense that they say a real ID is sufficient to prove citizenship. The problem there is that real IDs do not indicate citizenship. They do not indicate where you were born. I have one. Doesn't say anything on there. Also, real IDs can be held and acquired by non-citizens. So, oops. So for the overwhelming majority of people then, that leaves a passport. A passport is a valid way to prove who you are and your citizenship status, all in one nicely packaged ID. The problem there is, passports aren't free. And if you're going to require someone to possess a form of ID that costs money to prove their citizenship before they're able to register to vote, that is a violation of the 24th Amendment. That's a poll tax. Can't do that. Another problem is for women voters of this country. If the name on your ID does not match the name on your birth certificate, let's say for marriage reasons, you got married and changed your name, that's not going to suffice to register you to vote. If your names don't match, you cannot use those forms to identify yourself to register to vote. Leading once again to people, specifically women, having to acquire new forms of ID that both prove who you are and that you're a citizen. Not constitutional. On top of that, the fact that they're trying to make that the only way anyone can register or update their registration in order to vote is that it has to be in person is going to disenfranchise many, many people. The elderly, people in wheelchairs or who are otherwise handicapped that maybe have a hard time getting around without the assistance of others. What about voters in rural America? People who are otherwise capable and willing to vote, but if in-person registration is their only option and the closest location to do that is 120 miles away, maybe they don't do it. All this to say, this isn't the first time that the Republicans in the House have passed the SAVE Act. It passed last Congress too, and it died in the Senate. This bill is all but certainly going to face the same fate in the Senate. It is probably dead on arrival in the Senate because they would need 7 Democrats to vote with the Republicans to break a filibuster. That's not going to happen. And on the very, very small chance, minute possibility that it passes the Senate, it would for sure be immediately challenged in the courts, and it would be tied up there for quite a while, certainly before any sort of meaningful changes to how we register to vote in this country could take effect. So, take a breath, don't worry about it.